me give the official introduction to John Oates, rock and roll, R&B, soul guitar singer, songwriter, record producer, rock and roll Hall of Famer, and of course, one half of Hall & Oates. I mentioned that Hall & Oates have made 21 albums. They've sold over 80 million albums and making them the most successful duo in rock history. 10 number one records, over 20 top 40 hits. And John Oates joining us on the program. John, thanks for joining us. Let me apologize before we start this for whatever is going to happen after this, but it's great to have you on. Great to see you again.
It's great to see you too, Dan. Thanks, man. I just finished the tour, so man, it's great to be here in our cabin in Colorado, and I'm gonna get a little bit of R&R before we resume. But anyway, it's great to talk to you.
And whenever I go to Paris and I'm having breakfast, I have breakfast with John.
Yes. Oh, of course. But of course.
Now I knew you, but I didn't know if you knew me. That's when I thought, well, I'm just going to walk over and say hello. Now, well, you can be honest.
I took the croissant out of my mouth and no, of course I know you. You know, I'm a sports fan. I follow you and watch your show, and yeah, it was great. I mean, it's always great to see a fellow Yank in when you're in a foreign country, and you know, it reminds me of the good old days, man, when we just traveled around and enjoyed being in Europe. So things have changed, but yeah, that was a good time.
All right, your favorite band or artist that you performed with over the years is who?
Wow, that's a heck of a question. You know, we performed. I don't even know where to begin. We performed, you know, we opened for Stevie Wonder. We opened for David Bowie on his first American tour, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. We played with, we've done shows with the Eagles, and the list goes on. I mean, we've been doing this for almost 50 years. So,
but Bowie,
I don't even know where to begin.
Bowie wasn't Ziggy Stardust. This was.
Yes, it was his first. It was the first show on the Ziggy Stardust tour, and we opened for him in Memphis, Tennessee. Absolutely.
What did you think when you saw Bowie?
I was shocked because I had been a fan of him for his first album, Hunky Dory, which was kind of an experimental singer-songwriter acoustic kind of record. And I had no idea what he was going to do. And when he came out in the sequin, you know, suit with the red hair and the whole bit, I was like, okay, so you can actually do that in your career? It was eye-opening, honestly.
But then you're with Stevie Wonder.
The list goes on and on. You know, we did Live Aid in Philly with Mick Jagger and Tina Turner, and we played the Apollo Theater with Eddie Kendrick and David Ruffin from the Temptations. I mean, I really, you know, we've just been blessed and fortunate to be part of a great era in rock music history. And, you know, I feel like we got a chance to pick the cherries from the top of the tree, you know.
But would you rather talk music or would you rather talk sports?
I'll talk sports. We're on a sports show, man. I love sports. I'm an amateur athlete, I guess you could say, over the years when I was in school, and always loved football, but I was always too small to play. And well, I was in junior high. I wasn't too small until I kept getting my butt kicked, and then I said I better concentrate on strumming my guitar.
Okay, you get a chance to meet Nick Saban.
Oh, yes.
What was that like?
We were playing in Tuscaloosa, and the promoter was an Alabama alum, and we had it was right. He said to me, he goes, "Hey, after sound check, do you want to go over and see Alabama practice?" I said, "Yes, yes." And I got a bunch of the guys in the band together. We went over there, and it was an amazing experience. I have to say, if you ever have to question about why Alabama is Alabama, just if you had the good fortune to take a tour of their facility and see what happens inside that room, you know, you'll become a believer immediately. And it was really interesting because we actually got to meet Coach Saban, and they told us when we first came in that he very rarely sees anyone during the season. And so we were saying, well, you know, sure, of course, whatever he says. But we went up to his office, and he has a nice woman who kind of handles things for him up there. And I said, "Any chance I could sit at his desk?" And she said, "Sure." I said, "Can I wear his hat?" And she says, "Yeah." I said, "What about, can I put the rings on?" And she said, absolutely, because he had all his rings on the front of the desk. There's a picture of me. I'll send it to you. There's a picture of me sitting at his desk with the hat and going like this. And we got all the rings on. And it was amazing. And then in the next room, he was sitting there doing some paperwork. And he graciously got up and spent a good 5-10 minutes with us. And we talked, but I could tell his mind was somewhere else, even though he was very, very cordial with us, but he was focused, and it was an amazing experience. So I have to say, we saw, Jalen Hurts and Tua were both practicing with two different groups at the same time. It was during that period of time, and it was great. It was amazing.
But when I first met you in Paris, and you said you love the SEC, like, how did you fall in love with SEC football?
I moved to Nashville. I had to. I had no choice. You live in the South, you eat, sleep and drink SEC, and it's, and quite frankly, it's just an amazingly competitive and very high level of excitement, and the fans. It's a culture in the South. It's more than just a football game.
Have you guys done the anthem at a sporting event?
I've done the anthem a number of times. I did the anthem. In fact, we just played Denver just 2 nights ago at the former Pepsi Center. And first time I did the anthem was for a Nuggets game. But the most memorable one was when I did the anthem for the Phillies against the Rays on the famous game that got rained out. The only game, I think, in World Series history that got rained out and winded out. I mean, I remember people, they were hitting fly balls, and the ball was landing like 30 feet from the, so I got to sing it there, and I've sung it a number of times.
And then you guys just got off a tour. You were traveling around the world, and then you're coming back stateside, and then you'll start here.
Well, no, just due to COVID, we had, obviously we were off for a year and a half. We just did a 12 cities, and we started August 5th. Quite frankly, I wasn't sure whether we were going to make it to today. If our tour manager called me in the morning and said, "Hey, dude, go home," it wouldn't have surprised me. But the fans turned out. The audience was incredible. We had a very secure COVID safe bubble among our team and our crew. No one got sick. So, I count it as a big win. And we just finished that, and we'll resume on September 18th. We start in Maryland, we go down south, and we end up at the Hollywood Bowl on October 1st.
Who was your favorite band growing up?
Wow. Well, I'm going to show my age, but I go back to the early days of rock and roll: Chuck Berry and Elvis, Little Richard, and then up through the 60s, the great R&B that came out of Stax Volt, Sam and Dave, Otis Redding, Curtis Mayfield from Chicago, The Temptations, a lot of the great Philly artists as well. So, it's been a mixed bag. I love singer-songwriters, Joni Mitchell. I was a big fan of the band. So I have really eclectic taste when it comes to music.
But you guys don't refer to yourself as Hall & Oates.
Well,
I mean, isn't it every album like it's Daryl Hall and John Oates?
We did that on purpose. I know it seems like a subtle point, but we always wanted to be perceived as two guys who work together. And I know it's a subtle distinction, but it matters to us. And so the world calls us Hall & Oates. It's more convenient, of course. But yeah, we're two individuals. We think differently. We lead different lives. We come together, and we have a lot of commonality where our music comes together. But we're perfectly capable of making records and doing things individually.
All right. Fritzy, who booked you, is a huge Hall & Oates fan.
I kind of heard the preamble to this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You know where I'm going with this, John?
I'm not quite sure, but I think I'm ready.
Okay. Fritzy, what song would you like to sing? I'm going to say to John, not with John, if John decides that he wants to join in. But I'm assuming that's water you're taking a drink out of, John, before you do this, not vodka or anything.
Well, actually, it is water. Okay. But I have a feeling I'm going to wish it.
All right, Fritzy, what do you want to sing with one of your idols?
I chose Kiss on My List. Private Eye is probably my favorite, but I went with Kiss on My List for
Okay, why don't you sing just a little bit so John at least understands sort of, what your voice range is.
Hopefully he won't kill me too much because, again, since I'm a little kid, I love Hall & Oates. I'm, I don't want to say president of the fan club, but I'm a huge fan.
Just sing.
Okay.
My friends wonder why I call you all the time. What can I say?
I don't feel the need to give such secrets away. You think maybe I need help? No, I know.
That's enough.
Okay.
That's enough.
All right.
I get it. I've heard that song before. No, you know what? That's pretty darn good.
Thanks.
I have to say, I'm going to tell Daryl that you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're ready. You're ready to step in at any moment.
Yeah, I'm sure Daryl's going to go, huh? Who?
Put me in,
that
coach.
Yeah.
Put me in, coach. Yeah.
Okay, so that was just a sampling here.
That was very exciting just now. That was you seriously made a dream come true here that I'm talking to John Oates and singing one
Now,
of the songs.
see, once again,
I'm being
he
serious.
made
No,
but no, my dreams come.
I'm not.
See,
I know I'm to play on words with one of the songs, but I'm genuinely being serious right now. That John Oates on the show and me singing along with him. It's crazy right now.
John, do people come up and use those lines to you, that the song titles? Yes.
Yeah, women will come up and go, "Hey, I'm a man eater," and I go, "Oh, I'm sorry for you. I really feel sorry for you." It's you know what I've realized while I was listening to you guys prior to coming on. I realized that our song titles could actually be part of a conversation.
Yes.
Yes. It's kind of interesting. You guys were like throwing out all these titles and a lot of deep tracks too, which was cool.
Because you got Family Man, I Can't Go For That, Kiss on My List, Man Eater, One on One, Out of Touch, Private Eyes, Rich Girl, Sarah Smile, Say It Ain't So, She's Gone, You Make My Dreams, You've Lost That Loving Feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fritzy, do you have another one that you want to do here with John before I put him, out of his misery and I let him go?
Okay, I chose You've Lost That Loving Feeling because that's like all John Oates. He gets that rolling, and that's like all about Oates. So I thought that would be a good song.
Is that your song though? That's
No. That was written by Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil, two amazing Brill Building songwriters from way back in New York City. That was originally recorded by the Righteous Brothers, and that song, I mean, if you have a minute, I can tell you a very kind of quick, crazy story about that song.
Yes, absolutely.
We had made an album called Voices in the early 80s. And in those days, what we would do is we would have a listening party for our friends, for the record company, radio people, and we'd bring them into the studio and we debut the album, and of course it would always hopefully, a big success. We did that, and the vibe was good, but Daryl and I both felt after we listened to it in its entirety, we said, something's missing. We didn't know what it was. So after the listening party, we were in the Village. We were recording at Electric Lady on 8th Street in Greenwich Village. And we went to the pizza place, which was literally a half a block down the street. And we were having some pizza, and on the jukebox came the Righteous Brothers' original version of You Lost That Love and Feeling. And we looked at each other and go, why don't we just cut that? And so the next morning, we went into the studio with the band. We cut it in half a day. Recorded the track, sang the song, put it on the album, and it became a big hit for us. So it was just one of those things. It was just kind of happened.
And you were also We Are the World. You're part of that, right? I mean, there were a lot of different people in there. That was amazing. How do you explain that, though? I mean, you had was Waylon Jennings there?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Dan Aykroyd?
No. There were only musical performers in the room.
Are you sure?
Well, he might have been there. You know what? There was so much going on. It was so heady to be in that room. All I know is where I was standing, where they placed me in the group. Ray Charles was off my left shoulder. Bob Dylan was off my right shoulder. And all I knew is that I was in a really good place. I said, this is cool. I said, I don't know what's happening here, but I feel good about where I'm at right now.
All right, Fritzy, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. John, you can choose to jump in, or you can just sit there and listen.
I don't know. I may have to just enjoy this, but let's see where it goes.
Okay.
You never close your eyes anymore when I kiss your lips.
That's the way. All
and
right.
There's no tenderness like before in your fingertips. You're trying hard not to show it, baby. But baby, I know it.
Okay. All right. You know what? Okay, you get the part. You got the part.
Okay.
When they do my biopic, I'll make sure that we call you. You'll be first call.
John, you're a good sport. And once again, it was great seeing you when we had breakfast in Paris. Good luck with the tour. And I know you're part of our Celebrity Bracket Challenge with March Madness. We hope to have you back again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you,
I
John.
can't wait. This weekend's college football first weekend. I'm excited.
Thank you, bud.
All right,
John Oates, Hall of Famer. All right, Todd.
That was just beyond incredible.
There you go.
I'm so happy right now.
I just make dreams come true.
You really do. How cool is that? I'm just so excited.